Good evening. Today is Thursday, May 7th, 2020. The time is 7:05 p.m. And I'd like to open the Reuben Hoare Library Board of Trustee meeting. This meeting is being held virtually through Zoom. I have to read this merged opening for anybody listening, watching, or joining this meeting at this time. The town of Littleton began conducting remote participation Zoom meetings pursuant to Governor Baker's emergency order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law on March 19th, 2020. Since that time, unanticipated legal concerns relating to the open meeting law have been brought to our attention by the town clerk. Those concerns were supported by the Attorney General's office and confirmed by town council. One concern is that the chat function allows a parallel text conversation to a board's public meeting. Chat is essentially running commentary that is occurring, but it is not moderated or followed by the chair. All participants and listeners may not be aware of comments being made because some meeting participants join by phone and do not see these conversations. Another concern is conversations between residents within the chat room, which are not incorporated into the public record. In response to these concerns, the town will implement the following changes, which in no way prohibit any member of the public from participating in discussion and sharing information during a public meeting, and will ensure that all listeners and participants have equal access to this meeting. People that join the Zoom meeting are set so their microphones are muted. If you called in by phone, please use the star symbol 6 to mute or unmute your phone so that the meeting can occur in an orderly fashion. We ask that people who join keep their microphones on mute so background noises do not interfere with the meeting. If you wish to participate in the meeting, please use the raise your hand function available on Zoom. Or if you called in by phone, dial *9, which will activate the raise your hand function. The meeting host will notify the chairperson of the raised hands, and the chairperson will determine whether and when to allow public comment. When called upon, participants should unmute, then state their name and address. After speaking, we request the participant return their microphone back to mute. So Sam is the meeting host. So he will notify me if there are any raised hands by you or anyone joining in to participate in the meeting. At this time, we will have roll call and then we will go to the meeting agenda. So I am Demetra Taylor. I am a member of the board filling in as chair for Mark Rombacher, who cannot chair the meeting tonight.
I'm Susan Harvey, a member of the board.
I'm Chris Aslin. I'm the secretary of the board.
I'm Mira Gale. I'm a member of the board.
David Sill, member of the board.
Sam Alvarez, library director. You're muted, Helen.
Mute. I'm Helen Graham. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
And we have Katrina Hagberg here as a public participant.
Hi.
Okay. Hi, Katrina. Welcome. We're going to move to public participation. So, Katrina, did you want to say anything at this time?
I have nothing to add right now.
Okay. So we have no other public participation. Moving on to correspondence. Sam, do we have any correspondence?
No, we don't.
Okay.
This is going really fast.
Approval of minutes from April 9th, 2020.
Sure. Did I read them?
Were those your minutes, Demetra, that you submitted?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
When we are ready to approve the minutes, I just have to remind everybody that we all have to give a voiced vote of approval before we can move on to the next agenda topic.
I'm sharing the minutes. Can everybody see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Getting good at this.
I'm quite impressed. Well done.
Okay.
So at this time, I'd like to ask if anybody would like to make the first motion to approve the
David
minutes.
Sill would like the motion to approve the minutes of 4/9/20 as written.
And Susan Harvey will second.
Okay. Demetra Taylor approves the minutes.
Mira Gill also approves.
David Sill also approves.
Chris Aslan approves.
And Susan Harvey does.
All right. So minutes from April 9th, 2020 are approved. Moving on to treasurer's report.
I just lost it. Oh, I got it. No, I got it. Okay, Sam has been kind enough to put up the Bartholomew, which you all can look at. You should have all gotten a copy. I
Yes,
emailed
thank
everybody
you.
one today.
Yep.
Okay, and the building fund balance is $563,215.41, and the MMDT is $1,500.30. And you all have the Bartholomew report in front of you. You all have one sent to you,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the treasurer's report.
Okay.
Does anyone wish to make any comments at this time regarding the treasurer's report? Okay. Friends report.
We have to approve the treasurer's report, or what? Or just is that okay? Do we have to vote to accept? I forget.
No.
Okay.
Only if we have to
Move money.
move money.
Okay, good.
All right, Friends report. I could not attend the last meeting, but from what I understand, many things are either canceled, postponed, or on hold. There was talk of sending out the annual newsletter, I believe, but maybe someone else can elaborate more on that. What's there? If there's anything more to say, I don't know.
I think so.
Okay.
Okay. Fundraising and Public Awareness Committee's report. Are you meeting right now, Katrina, or is everything on hold with that?
We have not met since the last trustees meeting. We are informally talking and trying to figure out what the options are for specifically for mini golf, since that was put on hold. But everything's a moving target right now. So
Right.
the good news is no one's pulled back pledges or named donor opportunities right now. So that's nice, and we hope that stays. But we will see how the year plays out on that.
Well, that's good to hear.
That is great.
Building project updates.
Sam, you want to do that? I don't have anything more to add. It's just all kind of in process now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all in process. I know Conservation Committee met, but I think they put it off. And I believe Mark's at Planning Board right now, right?
Yes, as we speak.
Yeah.
And I think they're in the process of getting ready do bids or something like that.
Right.
If I'm reading the whole thing right. That's about it.
Can I ask a question? Why did conservation put it off? Is it because they could not meet, or there was some issue?
I don't think there was an issue. I think they always planned to have a second meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Which will take place when? Do we know that?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
TBA.
Got it.
Okay. Trustee updates. How's everyone doing this month? What have you been doing besides going out of your minds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate the increased hoopla limit, so we have been taking advantage of that, and we've been borrowing a lot of audiobooks. I was looking at the numbers, and a significant number of the books borrowed are probably our family. And we've also been enjoying the story times that Mrs. Haddock continues to do. So we've watched a couple of those, and those are fun. So, and the reading challenge, we also, on May 1st, we participated in that. So we are doing our best to keep entertained, and thanks to the library, we can do that.
Yeah. I'm crazy busy trying to learn how to do remote teaching successfully. I'm not sure it's successful yet, but I'm working on it. And one of the things that came up this week in the meeting, it was one of the admin meetings that I attended, was summer reading and the library access. And I know we're going to be talking about that later, but the high school is very concerned about the fact that we always have a vibrant summer reading program, both now for course specific, and also we're doing just a general read. And we talk about those books at the beginning of September, and we need the library. So that came up on Wednesday morning, and I said, well, I'll let you know what I find out. So that's a big concern. Yeah.
Can we add that to the bottom of the agenda just to speak about as other business?
Sure.
Just briefly.
Summer readings on under new business.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay, good.
I don't really have anything new to report, just that I've been working from home and trying to write from home while my daughter does her schoolwork, and it's been tricky. Not feeling like I'm making a whole lot of progress, but she's doing pretty well with her schoolwork, and I don't just random notes. Catherine's been doing Sunrise School.
Yeah.
I don't know if people know about the Sunrise Movement, which is a student-led or youth-led movement to promote the Green New Deal and climate justice.
Yeah.
And so she's been taking doing Sunrise School in addition to her regular high school classes, which is a couple of times a week. She does webinars with this group of other kids and administrators that are sharing information about lots of different laws and climate stuff, and chatting with kids from around the country and locally as well about what they can do for climate change. So it's been a pretty interesting sort of listen. I'm not really invited to do much of that. Sometimes I listen as I walk by her room, and it's fascinating that these kids are doing all of this work and discussions about some very serious things having to do with the climate. So that's been kind of cool. But for me, just trying to get through the day.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, for me, I'm just trying to get through the day like everybody else is, and nobody has gone crazy here yet. Although there's been a couple of times when it was a little wiry, but it's going well, and I'm not limping anymore, so that's a good thing.
Yay! Great.
Yeah, and I want this to be my last Zoom meeting. I really don't like them, but that's okay.
Oh,
We do what we have to, I guess.
We all do. Well, I want to see.
I'd rather be up in 307, just with everybody else. It's easier it's just easier.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, when's town election? When's town election?
June
The
20th.
June 20th?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
okay.
could actually stick that in other business because I have a question about that. We're supposed to something was supposed to happen, not something was well. Remember when I'll ask when we get to other business stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, that's because and that aside, town meeting is a big hot topic right now. There's a lot of argument over whether or not it should even occur. So we could talk about it later. But all right, sorry about that. And with us, we're the same. Just getting through the day, doing our schoolwork, and reading and enjoying Netflix. So, yeah. Director's report.
So most of what I have to say will come up later, but I'll share the budget report and the stats. So let me just share that right now.
But there hasn't been many notaries.
No.
Okay.
But
So
I've had two or three people ask. Go ahead, Sam. Sorry to interrupt.
it's okay. So salary is pretty much on point. We only have about a month and a half left in the fiscal year, and we have about 16% to 17% left. So we're doing well there. Town materials, we still have $9,000 or so left, $9,095. And that's because the town put a freeze on all spending of town materials, so I can't spend that. But trustee materials is well on track. And thanks to the friends, we've reached the mark, so we don't have to worry about that. We're doing pretty well with that. Let's see. Notary numbers, Andy somehow got 2. I don't know how she did that, but she did.
Okay.
Leave it to her.
Yeah. We've been holding staff Zoom meetings every Friday for the last few weeks. Diane and Jen are doing story times. Julie F. and Jeff are doing their book clubs.
That's great.
Yeah. Let's see. Circulation, 133. We made 19 new e-cards. We added some magazines, and ebook circulation is up. So is e-audio.
Yeah.
And yeah. Okay, so that's it.
Yeah, good.
Great.
Okay.
All right. Any old business? Right. Nothing to speak about, and on to new business. On the agenda, we have reopening tasks and checklists, but that's going to be a very big topic. I know that a lot of you have some questions about that, and in the event that Mark can actually join the meeting, if we put it towards the end, then perhaps we could have his participation as well. So we're going to move that to the end of the list and start with summer reading.
So Diane, Jean, and Jenna have met several times to discuss it, and Diane sent me something, so I'm just going to read it. It's easier. So they decided that they're not going to do everything completely online as far as registration. They're going to have the registration cards on the website, but the patrons can print them out and bring them out to the library and show them to us, basically. The kids will sign up with a registration card we put on the website, and then they'll fill out a log. We'll put it downstairs to be picked up. Log will contain a bookmark, calendar, dragon picture, and some sort of museum pass. After that, they email us their hours. We'll find out their tickets and place them into jars, which will be kept behind our desk. We will be keeping a registration card for each child and using it to monitor their progress. Pictures of prizes will be put into an album on Facebook and a browse article with them in it. There will be no small prizes this year, just raffle tickets for the 30 big items. In the next few weeks, they'll try to make the raffle prize purchases and see what they already have in their closet. When we do open, they can show us their logs, but we will still be doing all the filling out of the tickets ourselves and keeping track of the cards. Advertising the program will be through school librarians, Facebook, the website, browse, etc. Diane is going to contact performers and see if they can do virtual or Zoom performances. I know several of them have already said they will, and she'll try to book those. Besides story times online and the performance programs they've already booked, they'll continue doing some virtual crafts and other craft programs online. And that's it. Any questions?
So summer reading in terms of what the schools need. How are we going to work that?
I believe Diane's been reaching out to them, but to be honest, they're always a little late with getting us what they need.
Well, what was interesting is that I'm the department chair for history 6 through 12, and we were asked to get to administration, next door in Shattuck Street at the end of this week. What our summer reading was, that the principals have put that off. I have asked my department for what they're looking for. Now, generally speaking, we hand out our own books. We can't do that this year.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to try to get a list of everything that's happening. And Paul Orzek, who is our high school librarian, he is facilitating our summer reading program that we're doing that's general, that is not specific to a course. So it's multi-level here. Perhaps I can have him be in touch with you, Sam. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay. And I can always get a list of what's happening in terms of what people need for English and for history and for anything else, and get that to the library. But this speaks to reopening.
Yeah, if you can also copy Helen on that, she does all the acquisitions.
Yep.
I'm going to interrupt for 1 second.
Yeah.
And say, in the past, when they have had, say, like the Pearl or whatever book it was,
Right.
We would just go over and pick them up, the 60 copies. I add them as an on-loan item. The kids, take them out from the library, and at the end of the year, we just return them back over.
So that could be possible with the book that I always have my kids read that's sitting in my classroom, if I can get them to you.
Perfect.
Okay.
The only thing that will happen is I will put a temporary barcode on it,
Yep.
and then I'll remove that at the end. And then it will just be an on-loan status to us until it's returned.
Okay.
And
All
then
right.
I'll send you the names of the kids that don't return it, so that you will, in September, you can go after them.
Oh, yes, I will.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not a problem. Okay. That's fabulous. Okay. I will make sure that the high school knows about that. Thank you.
Susan, are they doing this summer reading anything like we did last year with the program, where they were reading different books with different facilitators?
And that was the plan going forward. Let me talk to Paul about this, because he's the one who's facilitating that with Kate McCook.
Okay.
I did a professional development earlier in the year about that, and looking at different books for this year. I know I'm one of the facilitators, or I'm supposed to be, if we're doing that, so I already have my book, how to be an anti-racist. That's the book that I have. Yeah. So, but I don't know that anything has been ordered. I have no idea yet. So, yeah, that's part of that question.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I had for summer reading. Is there anything else? Any other questions?
Okay. Ray Grandi Memorial Scholarship.
So we can't.
Yeah.
Okay, so the library's closed. There's going to be very little for them to do. Everybody pretty much agree? Sam?
Yeah.
Ellen?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did they reach out to you, Sam?
They did.
I thought they would.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's really good. I'm glad, because I'm gonna suggest that maybe we should just give them the scholarships. Okay, they can't come and work, there's nothing for them to do, but yet we awarded them the scholarships. So I don't know if we can make that happen, but, you know, it's either that or nothing happens.
And they're anxious to work.
Or does somebody else
Yeah,
have?
they did offer to come in, but we can't have them. You know,
Right.
it's not. Yeah, it's not going to work.
No, it's not going to work. So we either got to be Indian givers and take it back, or we got to give it. So I'm throwing that out there. I don't know what the right thing is to do, or whether it can even happen. So
Well,
what
we
does
have the
everybody
money,
think?
right? The money wasn't necessarily, the money doesn't change whether they work or not. We have the money.
Right.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I can't remember if they're juniors or seniors.
They're seniors,
Okay, all right.
and they both need the money.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's
They do.
any reason why we shouldn't just give them the scholarship.
Well, would you all like to table the decision for this until next month and wait until Mark and then vote on it? Or do you want to vote on it right now?
You know, that might depend on what we do with reopening.
That is true. We could be in a very completely different place next month.
Mhm.
You know, things might look like they're improving. Okay.
Which means that the girls could possibly come in and do something. I mean, they're both anxious to do it. So
I mean, we
How
could
do you
always
feel
hours.
about that, Sam?
Yeah,
How do you
I'd
feel?
rather not have them come in. I mean, we're going to have enough issues with just the staff, and I mean, I think honestly, I think they should just get the scholarship personally.
Okay.
But it's not safe for them. You know, we're going to have enough staff that we're going to have to separate, and it doesn't look like this is going to get any better anytime soon. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's admirable that they want to work. That speaks a lot for their honor about it.
Yes.
That speaks a lot of it. So that makes it just easier for me to say, let's do it.
And also, staff have reached out to me and said they don't think they can use them either.
Okay.
okay.
All right, so let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 trustees here. So
we have quorum. I think we can take a
I
vote.
don't see that putting it off is going to make it any different. So I'm going to make a motion that we, in lieu of the 2 recipients not being able to work, that we just offer them the scholarships anyway. And just whatever the amount was that it was going to come to, just give them that as a scholarship and tell them, thank you.
Who seconds?
Yeah,
I second that.
Who seconded?
Well, I tried to.
I don't know who won.
Who got to it first?
I don't care.
Susan can have it.
No, thank you.
Demetra Taylor agrees to the motion.
Chris Asler?
David Sill votes yes.
Mira Gale votes yes.
Yep. Susan Harvey votes yes.
Christine?
I voted yes already, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
all right.
okay.
I missed that.
We're
They're
good.
trying to take minutes.
No, we never allocated money for it, so you're also going to have to
Okay.
pay money to MMDT for it at some point.
All right.
We need to transfer it in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe I could talk with you afterwards to get the amount,
Sure.
and then I'll just transmit that to Steve Venuti.
Okay. Well, you have to vote
Vote on
Yeah.
it.
where to get it.
Oh, okay.
So we'll have to vote. We'll have to vote again in June
Right.
for the amount that we are going to pay them. But at this time, we have all voted to give them the money, despite them being unable to complete the hours. So
Okay,
that's
Sam.
vote.
All right. Sam, does that work?
That works.
Yeah.
Susan, does that work?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. So we are going to move to our last agenda item for new business, which is reopening tasks and checklists, which appears to be a 17-week plan. I want to make a suggestion in covering this. And see how you guys all feel about this. Do you guys want Sam to read weeks 1 to 6, or do we just generally talk about it?
So I sent out. I'm sorry, I sent it out a little late, but I've made some changes. I changed it from weeks to phases.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I sent that out to
Can you share the screen?
I'll share it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, great.
So, Demetra, do you want me to just go over it, or?
Why don't we go over the phase 1 first, because that is the one that is going to be happening in the oncoming weeks, and then we'll move on from there instead of just doing like a general going over the whole thing. So let's just focus on the first part.
Okay.
Right.
So I sent this out about a week ago, I think, or a few days ago.
Yeah.
And basically, this is all meant to be fluid. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what the governor is going to decide, or the selectmen. So this is sort of just a working draft. So it's going to be largely based on that and how we go forward. Basically, anything can change based on what's happening in the state or the town. If the staff, hopefully not, but if some of them happen to come down with COVID or become sick, or if they can't come in, then this could change as well. So my idea is that I will continue to seek input from local health officials, the board, the town, and basically every month when we have our meetings, we'll discuss the current state of the library once we open, and we can decide how we move from phase to phase. Let me scroll down. So like I said, since the weeks I came up with in the previous draft, they were arbitrary. So I've changed it to phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4. So in phase 1, building access and materials pickup, we'll start with curbside pickup. That seems to be the thing that both I and the staff and other libraries are going to start with. We'll not have any kind of contact with the patrons at all. We will have them call us or email us their holds. If we're not sure, so everything's still in flux, so we don't know what other libraries are going to open up at the same time. We don't know if Optima, our delivery service, if they're going to be operating. They've contacted us and said they will, when they do decide to open, they will pick up bins first, but then there'll be a 1-week turnaround. So there won't be any deliveries. They'll just be taking the bins that we have. So right now, every day I go to the library and I take in the books that people put in the book drop. There's like 2.5 stacks of bins that are as tall as me. So there's going to be a lot to go back.
Oh my.
Yeah, and I can't imagine what bigger libraries. So MLS, the Mass Library System, they handle bin deliveries. They said that they will be opening, but it'll be a very long process. So what that means is that patrons might be able to take out holds from other libraries, but we're not sure yet. But so if that doesn't happen, then what we can do with MVLC is set it up so that they can take out what are called local holds. So that means they can only take out library books from Littleton. So what we're going to do is we'll have them call us, have patrons call us, have them email us, have them put holds online. The staff will pull the books for them, check them out for them, and then I'll put a table outside. The staff will put the items on the table. No contact. It's just, no contact. We'll encourage patrons to continue to wear masks. We don't know what the state rule about that will be, but hopefully patrons will continue to do that.
Well, right now we have to.
Right now we have to, but I don't know. What I'm saying is I don't know what's going to happen in the future. But
okay.
I'm going to ask the staff to continue to practice social distancing while on duty. Everybody's going to be required to wear a mask, an apron, gloves. Each staff member will have their own station. So there are multiple floors to the library, so we can space out that way. Not everyone will be at the main circ desk, and they don't have to be since patrons won't be coming in. So they can sit at different areas of the library with a computer. That's fine. As far as the back room goes, Helen and Atsko, they're going to come in when the library is closed and do their work that way, and they can space themselves out or social distance. I will probably be moving all around the library and helping out, and so I'll be social distancing myself. All the main entrances will be closed. The elevators will be turned off so no one can get in from the public. All the masks, gloves, aprons have already been purchased. So what the town has done is they've created a special account. So we're not paying for it. The town is going to seek reimbursement from, I believe it's FEMA. So everything we're getting is basically the government is supposed to be paying for it. I also got plexiglass countertops, but that's for when we open. I also bought an infrared thermometer so that the staff can take their temperature. And if any staff members has a fever or shows any signs or symptoms of COVID, they'll be asked to go home and quarantine themselves for 2 weeks.
Good.
Let's see, what else?
In terms of the Board of Health,
Yes.
I know that when somebody has been diagnosed, they absolutely know, and the Neshoba Board of Health tracks that.
Okay.
Yeah.
As far as, yeah.
What is an apron?
Like
What do you mean by that? Like
when you cook, like a.
Oh, okay. So it's just.
Yeah.
I know that sounds silly, but I mean I haven't seen any other workers wear aprons. Just the masks and the gloves.
It's so that if the books touch your clothes,
Right. Okay.
Another barrier.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, my question is, would staff, so staff would have to bring their aprons home and wash them and come back wearing them?
Right.
Okay.
So I bought enough aprons for everybody.
Okay.
I think I bought more than enough, actually.
Okay.
Can I ask a question
Sure.
before you go on? So I know in Groton, they have a pickup window, so patrons are given a 15-minute time slot to come and pick up their stuff. Will we do anything like that to try and maintain distance?
Yeah, we're going to make sure that patrons know when they can come and pick it up. So we're probably giving them like a 15-minute time window.
Okay.
Last time we did curbside pickup, they were just showing up and it was crazy. So
Right.
we're going to enforce that. You have to be told basically when you can come in and get
Right.
your. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. What else?
Can I,
Programming.
can I ask a question?
David.
Yeah, on the aprons,
Yep.
would you be having more than one per staff member so that they can wash one and wear one, or are they just going to get one?
No, I think I got enough for 2 for each staff member.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Programming, everything's going to be online. Like I talked about with summer reading, we're going to continue to do our online story times, book clubs. I'm going to work with to find presenters that can do programs for adults. I've already gotten emails from presenters that we've had in the past that said, we have these Zoom programs that we're doing now if you're interested. So, I'm sure we won't have any problems finding anything like that. I'm going to try to collaborate with Council on Aging, Park and Rec, and other libraries in the future to see if we can all pull our resources and work together. Since the library will be closed to the public, all meeting rooms will be closed. Marketing, we're going to put everything on the website, Facebook, Constant Contact, newspapers, LCTV, Twitter, signage at the exterior of the library. Acquisitions. Like I said, we already reached tomorrow, but Helen will continue to do some acquisitions for hot titles. I know some of the staff have already given her lists, and we'll be getting things for summer reading. So we have money for that, so it shouldn't be an issue. Helen and Atsko will continue to process those materials, and I'll look into any other online services we might be able to offer to the public during this time. I'm going to recommend that on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, our hours be 10 to 4. Tuesdays and Thursdays, 1 to 7, and Sunday is closed.
Yeah, Sam, could I ask a question on that one?
Sure.
Yeah, I was wondering, you were talking before about programs and all that kind of stuff. So I know that, we used to have programs in the Cooper room and this and that. I don't know how that gets affected by social distancing or whatnot. Okay. But what would happen if those things were scheduled for after 4 or after 7?
So I don't mind doing them after 7. I mean, there were times when we've done things on Fridays and we close at 4 on Fridays, so it'd just be online. So we can still do them if they're at 7. That's not an issue.
Okay, so whatever staff member happens to be running it, do they get paid more for staying late?
They get paid. There's no time differential or overtime, but they do get paid for those hours that they're extra.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, if somebody runs one from like 7 to 8:30, they get paid that hour and a half.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
right.
true. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Return materials. So right now, what I do is I empty the Dropbox with I wear gloves and a mask, and I put them in a bin, and then I put them to the side for like 3 or 4 days, and then I check them in. So we'll probably continue to do that. Right now, because we're closed, we're probably not getting as many, so we might have to put books that would get returned into quarantine, maybe in the local history room or another meeting space until we reopen again, I guess. Yeah.
Speaking of that, do you want, so for example, I have a box of books ready to go back. Do you want those sooner rather than later, or should we tell people to wait?
Yeah, I'm taking next week off, so Jenna and Andy will be there. So
Next week?
But yeah, you should return. Everybody should be returning them. They can still return. We still check them in.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. And then cleaning and disinfecting the building. I'm gonna work with Nina to see if we can continue to have the cleaning staff to come in and clean the building. They still come in every day, or not every day, but every other day, and they clean. They were cleaning every day before, so I'm gonna see if we can get that again. I think the school also has some sort of machine that sanitizes. It like produces some sort of mist.
Oh, I'm not sure what they did, but they told us to take our plants home. So, yep.
Yeah, so that's phase 1. So my idea is that we'll probably be in phase 1 for at least 2 months, maybe.
Okay.
And what I'll do is I'll make contact with local health officials like Chief Wadzinski. He's been doing a lot of the health stuff for the town. So I'll talk with him and anyone else. I'll talk with Nina. And then when we have our trustee meetings, we'll discuss the current state of the library and decide if it's safe for both patrons and employees to move on to the next phase. So are there any questions about phase 1 so far?
No.
Okay. So phase 2. So this is when we start allowing patrons back in the building. Like I said before, I purchased plexiglass. So I don't know how many of you have been going to restaurants or like fast food places, but what they usually do is they put a table in front of the counter to maintain the 6 feet. And then they also have plexiglass up. So I thought we could put up plexiglass and, maintain 6 feet distance. Make sure the patrons, when they come in the building, they're wearing a mask. We limit the amount of patrons that are allowed in the building at any one time. So I'm not sure what that number will be yet. I know a lot of states that are opening have requirements as far as a percentage of how many people can be in the building, like a percentage of what the capacity of the building is. So like our building, I think, can hold 150 people. So maybe it's that the governor decides that it's only 10% of the building's capacity can be in the building at one time.
All right.
Yes?
Yeah, I got a question on that, because we don't know what the building is.
Right.
Okay,
We
so-
also don't- yeah, so
so,
that's
I mean,
where
you
the
know-
local health officials come in, and I have to speak with them and figure that out. So,
Yeah, well,
yeah,
I mean, so will we be handled separate from the rest of the building?
I don't know.
Because
Oh,
if they say, okay, you can have 10 people in, is that for the whole building, including all the way down to COA? That's the question I need to have you get answered.
Yeah, that's definitely on my mind. I'm definitely going to try to talk to the chief about that.
Okay.
Let's see what else. So the staff and I will be responsible for making sure that that number of patrons, whatever it is, come into the building. We already have a stanchion that we put downstairs to keep the people that come into Veterans Affairs office from entering the rest of the library. So I'll just take that and I'll put it upstairs. I'll have to inform patrons that they have to stay outside. We'll limit patrons how long they can be in the library.
I want to know who you're going to make the bouncer.
It's probably going to be me. My new title. Yeah. So I don't want to make the staff do that, so I'll probably do it. And then, so we'll limit how many people can come into the library at a time. We'll limit it to 1 or 2 families upstairs in the children's room, depending on the size of the family, I guess, is the determining factor there. We'll make sure there's plenty of signage outside to let patrons know that, you're allowed in the library, but you're only allowed for, maybe 20 minutes. We'll space out the computers, all of the reading areas, there's comfy chairs. I'll put computers downstairs on the ground floor in the rooms so that we can have more computer access. So I'll talk to IT, see if they can move some of the computers that are at the poles downstairs, or we have laptops. They can always just put laptops down there. I'll put a staff member down there to help with answering questions as well.
All right. Can you scroll that up a little bit?
Sure. Like that?
Get up to the next place we were working at here.
Oh, this is phase 2 right now.
Yeah, phase 2.
All right.
Okay. There we go. Okay.
I've purchased an additional self-checkout machine. It came in today. So I'll put that on the opposite side, somewhere where patrons can check out by themselves on their own, if they want. So there'll be 2 on the ground, on the main floor, and 1 upstairs in the children's room. Yes, what else? Only the front entrance will be open to the public. All other entrances will remain closed. All the meeting areas, including comfy chairs, tables, will be spaced out. I'm removing the Xbox from the teen room to discourage them from hanging out there.
Yeah.
Now, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Well, could you, for people who are at high risk who really don't feel comfortable coming in the building, could they still do contactless, like holds and things?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, usually this stuff all kind of, if a patron doesn't want to come in, they'll give us a phone call.
Okay.
They'll let us know, and they'll say, can you do this? And we'll assist them.
I know you guys are great, but I just wanted to make sure that's still an option in this phase.
Yeah, my plan isn't to say to anyone, go away. If we can help you, we can figure out a safe way to do that, we'll do that.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Apropos of nothing else, I texted Mark a while ago, and he texted me back at 7:42 and said he was still at the planning board.
Okay.
Programming, we'll continue to do all our programming online. Meeting rooms will continue to be closed to the public. The children's room will be, play area will be closed off and all the toys put away. Like I said, only 2 families at one time, depending on the size of the family. I have 1 patron computer in the children's room will be made available for 20 minutes.
Sam, I have a question.
Sure.
This is based on a question that Mark sent.
Okay.
He was curious to know who would be keeping track of who is coming in and coming out of the of the different rooms. For instance, the children's room. And I'm thinking with only 2 families will be allowed at one time. But, some of these, some families, they spend hours in the children's room. I mean, would they have a limit of how long they can be there?
So everybody's going to have a limit of, 20 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what happened? Is there going to be a separate staff member responsible for keeping track? Because I know that Jean and Diane and Jenna, when she's up there, they have to go up and down to the different floors to get books and whatnot. So, and then sometimes the department is empty. So how are you going to manage that?
So I'm going to be a bouncer, basically.
Okay.
And the staff is just going to have to, we all have to make big changes.
Okay.
Are you going to be doing something like, when the people come in, just mentioning nicely to them that they have 20 minutes and they really can't stay, they got to come in and do their business to get out?
Yeah, definitely. I'll have big signs up. I'll let them know, and we'll just, and sometimes the library has times when we're slow. So if there's no one in the building, I'm not going to be like, your 20 minutes are up, you have to leave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you have a bad face you can put on?
Yeah. That's my roommates. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, so staff will, we'll figure it out. Staff and I will just have to force the law.
Mm-hmm.
And I think everybody's sort of become used to this by now that, they'll know and they'll understand.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we'll have too many issues. Staff will continue to exercise social distancing. I don't know if I'm going to stop them from wearing gloves or not yet, or the aprons or the masks. Maybe I'll, it all kind of depends. Like I said, this is fluid, so maybe they'll have to keep wearing them. We'll see. Katrina's shaking her head yes, so I think she. Again, any staff member exhibiting symptoms or if they have a fever, they'll be asked to go home. We'll continue doing the same marketing. Acquisitions will continue at the same time. Hours of operation, we'll go back to our regular hours of 10 to 4, 10 to 9. And Sunday's closed. And we'll continue to quarantine items for up to 3 days. Phase 3. So any questions about phase 2? Or muted?
Oh, can I ask what kind of masks those were?
There's like the surgical masks.
They're like surgical masks? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was just talking with my sister-in-law. She's a dental assistant, and now she has to spend all day in the mask, and she says that's not fun at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Mirror?
As for curbside pickup, are we going to be providing bags or boxes or something for the patrons?
I might get paper bags.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Sorry, Dave, I didn't hear you.
I just said that's a good question about the bags.
Okay, phase 3. Plexiglass will stay up. Social distancing will continue as far as patrons interact with staff. We might increase the number of patrons allowed in the building. Again, depending on the state of the world at the time. Let's see. Computer access will be increased. We'll have all 8 computer stations accessible. Unless social distancing is still in effect, then we'll just keep the computers downstairs. Or we might just keep the computers downstairs the whole time. We'll see. We'll, again, limit programming, but we might begin to allow patrons into the building for programs or do a mix of online and in-house. We'll see. Meeting rooms, patrons will now be able to use the meeting rooms, but we'll limit how many patrons we allow in the meeting rooms at a time. Again, these numbers are arbitrary. They can change based on what happens. Again, children's room, allow more families upstairs, again, depending on the size of the family.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
The meeting room. I'm sorry, I should have. It says here one in the conference room. Which one's the conference room?
The conference room is the one by sci-fi and fiction. The little.
Okay, the little corner one.
Right.
So only one in there, huh? Okay.
Yeah. Right now, only like 4 can fit in there.
Oh, because of distancing. Right. Okay.
Play area will remain closed. We'll increase the number of computers in the children's room that patrons can use. Everything will continue to be wiped down and disinfected. Again, staff wear gloves, aprons, masks. Might be required, might not be. We'll see. Everything else, acquisitions, hours will continue as normal. But we'll continue to quarantine everything for the literature. And then phase 4 is when we go back to some sort of normal, if possible. So yeah. So any questions on phase 3? That's where anything else? Phase 4. Any questions, comments, concerns?
No. I think it's all fluid anyway, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sumitra said phase 1 is the one that we need to focus on the most because that's actually going to happen, hopefully, imminently.
Right.
Was there a timeline on that?
So right now the town, so the governor said May 18th, but May 18th is when he's getting his report. It's not when necessarily everything's going to open up again. Mm-hmm. So we're still waiting on that. What the selectmen decided is that they will not continue to allow staff to be paid from home until beyond May 22nd. So if it goes beyond that,
no, May 26th.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if the library closes, and I don't know who it would be. If somebody was running a program from home now, would they still be able to run the program from home after that time when they said nobody can be paid afterwards? If they had to, I'm thinking because the library closes, there's no place for them to be.
Right. They, the selectmen, I believe, will not pay for staff to work from home.
Okay, so
that would be considered working from home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like a book club.
Yeah, that would be working from home.
So they wouldn't get paid for that.
No, they would either have to stop or continue.
Or they
Can
could
they?
Go ahead.
Exactly. No, what Dave was going to say. Can they run the program from the library through Zoom?
Yeah, they could do that.
After 7 o'clock, and they'd have to stay there by themselves.
Yeah. I mean, I would stay with them if they wanted someone to stay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. I was just saying that could be something that might come up. So
yeah,
give that one some thought.
Yeah.
Lucky you.
Yeah.
So, Sam, I'm coming into this a little late, so if, I apologize. I just literally just hung up from the planning board. So if the staff isn't going to be paid after the 26th, and if we're still not open, are we planning on doing curbside pickup anyway so that the staff can come in and do something, or?
So I think it depends on what the only reason we wouldn't open on the 26th is if the governor continues the stay-at-home order.
Yes.
I can't tell the staff to come in if there's a stay-at-home order. So we couldn't do curbside pickup though.
Well, has the governor said that we can't be open, or just recommends that we're? It's a weird dynamic here that I'm questioning. If we should do curbside pickup regardless, or if the staff would rather just not get paid, right?
So I don't know if staff will be allowed in the building. If there's a stay-at-home order from the governor, I don't know if that's something the selectmen would have to let us know.
So
do they bar the rest of the town office employees from coming into the building?
I would assume so.
I mean, are they doing that now?
Yes. No, so only essential employees are allowed in the building. So like I'm allowed in the building. if nobody else is there, I can allow other staff in the building, but only for a short period of time. It's the same thing with the rest of the town.
So how is Groton able to do curbside pickup right now?
Because they're a different town and that's how they decided to do it.
So the stay-at-home order is not relevant to that?
So it depends on what the selectmen decide in their
Got
town.
it. Okay.
So if the selectmen decide to keep the building closed and then don't allow people to work, isn't that a lawsuit waiting to happen? Right? Because you're preventing them from working and then you're not paying them, right? You're not giving them the ability to work. I don't think they can do both.
That sounds like a layoff. That sounds like unemployment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What the selectmen decided is that I forget what it's called, but there's some sort of policy in effect right now that allows the staff, but they have decided they want to continue it beyond the 22nd to allow staff to be paid from home. So I don't know if they will allow staff in the building, all staff, or not. I'm not sure. I can ask Nina about that. Right now it's all in flux, so I don't know if she would even know the answer to that.
Oh, what fun.
Yeah.
So they're making this decision regardless of what the governor says?
From what I understand, yes. That they won't continue to do pay the staff from home beyond the 22nd. That's my understanding of it.
So, all right. Are they paying everybody in the building right now, or just the library? Everybody.
Everybody's being paid, either if they come to the library or if they're working from home.
No, I'm sorry, Sam. I meant the rest of the building.
You mean the rest of the town hall?
The rest of the town hall. Are they all being paid?
Yes.
And their pay will stop if they can work from home. If they can't work from home, their pay will stop.
Yeah, that's
okay. All right. So it's everybody.
Yeah.
All right.
Unless something changes and selectmen decide to extend it.
That's probably a wise thing.
Yeah.
If it gets extended. Let's just hope it doesn't.
So Sam, could you follow up with Nina on that and let us know?
Sure.
What happens if
Yeah.
The state's going to be announcing something soon. They have to, so.
Yeah. Okay, any other questions?
No.
Okay. So that's it for me.
I do have one question. I apologize for missing the beginning of this, but are we happy with the phase 1 plan now, or do we need to meet again before phase 1 goes into effect and approve it? If phase 1 is effectively in flux and Sam or Nina or some combination are going to be making decision between now and May 22nd or 26th or whatever the date ends up being, do we want to review it again before it actually goes into effect, or are we authorizing Sam and Nina to do it on their own from here, based on what feedback we gave them now?
Can we get everybody back up on screen, or is that me doing that here?
Oh, sorry.
Hey, there they
Hey.
I don't mind meeting again if you all want to meet before the 22nd.
So when do we think phase 1 begins? May 22nd?
I'm not sure.
So
Yeah, that's the idea. But, probably beyond May 20th. I think you were talking about May 25th. But if something else changes, then it could be longer than that. I'm not sure. Beyond that.
what would we need to change if we needed to meet again? Is there anything that would be different? What Sam just said?
So I requested that we close earlier on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Wednesdays. So that would have to be approved by the trustees. Other than that, everything else is really in flux and dependent upon, what changes in the government and the selectmen decide. So we can meet again, and I can give you a more up-to-date appraisal of what we anticipate the changes will be. Does that work?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't mind.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if we have to vote on new hours anyway, we might as well plan to meet again just to have maybe a short meeting.
Yep.
Okay. Do you guys have a date that you would like to meet?
Uh,
How about the 21st? That's 2 weeks from now.
That's 2 weeks from tonight?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I'm looking at my calendar as if I'm going to be busy.
What are you doing on the 21st?
That works for me, the 21st.
Works for me.
Can I suggest we do it on the 20th instead of the 21st? Because there's already at least 2 other board meetings on the 21st, including one of them being the planning board meeting.
Okay.
Again. So,
Okay.
and there's nothing currently on the calendar, the town calendar for the 20th. So.
Okay,
Okay.
that's okay with me.
Yep.
Yep.
So did you want to meet at the same time at 7 p.m. on May 20th?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
That works.
Would someone like to make a motion?
Make a motion, we meet again on the 20th, which is a Wednesday at 7:00 p.m.
I'll second that, since I can do that today.
Okay.
Wait a second.
Mr. Taylor, I agree with this vote.
David Silva votes yes.
Mira Gale votes yes.
Susan Harvey votes yes.
Mark Rambacher, yes.
Chris Aslan votes yes.
So we have all voted in favor of meeting on May 20th at 7 p.m.
Yep.
Okay.
Any other comments on reopening tasks and checklist? Okay, we're going to move on to other business. And I had a thought while we were going through the reopening tasks with the plexiglass and whatnot. So this question is to Mark and Sam and Dave. Have you been discussing with the architect any future changes you might have to make to the new library in the event that something like this happens in the future, or we have to have some type of partial or complete shutdown of the new building because of whatever reason? Are you gonna put plexiglass up on the new circ desk? Have you talked about that yet?
So none of that has been discussed. Sam's going to be looking at ordering a circ desk, so I assume that when he's looking at that, he can keep that in mind. I think the circulation desk, we're in charge of the furniture, so we can do pretty much what we want.
Okay.
I haven't met with the furniture vendor on Monday. I can ask him.
Okay.
Oh
no, go ahead, Dave.
Well, this isn't library. This is. I'm very curious about town meeting and the town election for any news that's actually factual.
What I understand is that it's going to be inside. It will be inside.
Town meeting?
Yeah, town meeting. I believe
Okay.
it's going to be held at the auditorium. Mark Corey put out the idea that they do it in all the schools, so separate people out by their last names and put them in different schools. But that's just an idea. They haven't said that it's definitely going to be that way. Their argument against doing it outside in Alumni Field was they don't know what the weather's going to be like. People would have to come in through. It would be a very hard to register everyone, and also because it's near the wetlands, there would be mosquitoes.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why they decided to do it inside.
Mosquitoes, COVID-19, mosquitoes.
Yeah. So I did just get a copy of the warrant the warrant booklet. I can send that to everybody if you want. If you don't have it already, it's a draft of it.
Great.
The library is on there we have to approve the 1.5 million that we got for design to add that to construction. It says that the library trustees vote to support it. I don't remember you guys voting to support it. Did you? Oh, yes, you did. Now I remember. But yeah, so that's on there. I can send out the draft to everybody if you want. Yeah, as far as I know, it's going to be inside. That's what they decided.
Okay, do they have a date? Is there a date for the election?
Yeah, I don't
I'm
remember.
getting tired.
20th, right?
I'm getting
20th.
tired of Christina not being able to say anything. Oh, all right.
I'm pretty sure Susan is the one who's looking forward to that date.
Well, it will also be the day after school ends, so I might be able to breathe again.
Ah, there you go. Oh, all right. That's all I had.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there any other business that somebody would like to bring up at this time?
I'll just mention that the planning board looked over the architect. So there was a third-party review of the architectural engineering plans. The third-party review raised about 50 comments, to which the architect and engineers responded to. There's about 8 outstanding issues that need to be resolved. The planning board continued the hearing until May 21st, at which time they expect to close the hearing and the library will be moving forward at that time. We're still hoping to close the hearings for a planning board and conservation commission, we're hoping basically for the May 21st date or slightly thereafter for conservation, with pulling permits in early June and construction potentially starting June 15th. We can't start construction until the governor releases, allows construction to start basically. So the goal is June 15th or when the governor allows it to start. And June 15th is kind of up, and that's the date I have. It's a rough date, I think, but the plan is to go as early as possible so that the building is basically buttoned up before winter hits.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Any other comments? Okay. Would someone like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Oh, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'm making a motion to adjourn. I never get to make motions.
I will second it.
Oh, no, Mira, you can have this one. You got this one. You got this one.
David Siller's in favor.
Susan Harvey's in favor.
Okay. Next meeting is May 20th. Yes?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yes. And Dimitri Taylor agrees with the motion.
Mark Grambacher agrees.
Mira Gill agrees.
Ms. Haslund agrees.
The meeting is adjourned until May 20th, 7 p.m.
Thank you.
Nice to see everybody.
Lovely to see
See
you
you.
all.
Looking forward to
Bye.
Bye.
Good night, Sam.
All right.